Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
So we've got Dawn and Kenny from H.E.A.T here, and tell us a little bit about your location there, because it's beautiful.
Well, right now we are in the archipelagos of Stockholm
Yeah?
on a cruise ship. Show up. Let's give you a little bit of a taste.
Amazing. So I'm coming to you here from the Pure Rock shop in my basement in the United States. So you get to see my part of my CD collection. Not as nice of a background as you guys have. Super excited to chat with you.
Yeah, the same.
So I know, Dawn, you've been excited about this new album for quite a while. You even showed me the cover a few months ago when we were on Monsters of Rock cruise. We've seen a few videos so far. Very excited to hear the whole thing.
Okay, have you seen the videos?
I have. I just watched the one for Hollywood, so I've got to ask you guys, and I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but have you ever actually been to Hollywood? Have either of you been there or performed there?
I've been there, but I haven't performed in Hollywood.
Oh yeah. You went there in like 2000.
Yeah. We
Early.
we actually produced our first album in Hollywood. Well, not in Hollywood, but very close. We were in the Valley, and well, we passed through Hollywood, a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Dawn?
I've never been there.
No. So what inspired that single? Who wrote the song, and what brought you to the concept to write a song about Hollywood?
Well, it was Jimmy that came with the main idea for that song and the awesome hooks.
Yeah.
And storyline kind of for that song, and it's about kind of what comes out of Hollywood. Film and TV.
Yeah, it's a song that basically it's
I lost audio for you guys. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you just fine.
Okay. Can you maybe repeat that? Because I lost you. When you moved, I lost the sound.
Oh, okay. So basically, the song Hollywood is very much inspired by, the culture that Hollywood has inspired. So, for example, we are like, in some ways, very inspired by everything that Hollywood has given us through decades. I mean, just everything, movies, culture, even to the, everything from what you wear to what you're supposed to, like, your demeanor. I mean, it's just, it's inspired all of us, right? I mean, in some ways, as you grow up, you watch the movies, you get exposed to the culture. And I guess the song, it's a little bit about that. It touches on that fact that, it's like a band called Journey. They have a song called Raised on Radio. So it's a little bit the same kind of theme, to it, that you're raised on Hollywood.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. And also maybe it highlights kind of the backside of that a bit as well.
Yeah, so it's a bit of both, really. It's not really a criticism. It's just the way it is, that we are all kind of, we're childs of everything that came out of this, this big machine that we call Hollywood. And I guess it's almost like a metaphor, for what it entails. Yeah.
So I've got to ask you about the character that's the newscaster in that video. It kind of reminded me of like Warrant's Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinkin' Rich video from, back in the 80s. If you guys are familiar with that. Who is the character, and does he have a name yet?
Yeah, it's an American comedian, actually.
Okay.
His name is David T. Weaver, but he lives in Sweden, so he's a stand-up comedian in Sweden.
Very cool.
Yeah. And it was just perfect. He was the perfect character for this. We basically wanted like a presenter of a late night show.
Sure.
With a vintage vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he just fit the bill perfectly because the guy, he's from that. He knows that time very well. He grew up in that time himself, so he just knew exactly what we wanted.
Very cool. And I know at the end of the video he announces that your new album, Force Majeure, is coming out in August. Tell us a little bit about the concept behind the album. Obviously, everyone knows that term force majeure. We've been looking at contracts and cancellations the last couple of years of, act of God, pandemic, canceling everything. So I'm guessing that's where the title came from, but what does it mean to you guys?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Yeah. Yes, and other stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like Crash is saying. I mean, it's like you have this situation across the world that has challenged everybody. It's a completely unique situation, but also you also have a period of time in the band, and it's a big shift going on, and also the music itself, and everything had like we kept referring back to this word force. That just felt like there was some kind of magic around it.
Yeah. Also, can I just add that we call this guy the Force.
Okay.
Nickname, because he is a goddamn force. Came into the band with so much energy and power, and he was just a pure force. He was like, "Okay, guys, let's do this."
Yeah. I think a lot of things kind of came together, and coincided, and I think that Force Majeure not only describes the album for us, but it also is like it captures a moment in time as well, So
sure.
It's a combination of those two things. So it just made it perfect for us to call this album Force Majeure, because what can you call an album? I mean, it's like. And I also think that it's kind of cool, not to only strictly call an album by one of the songs or leading tracks on an album. It's kind of fun. It's another way of expression. You know what I mean?
Kind of a statement.
Yeah.
It's like, this is Force Majeure.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what has it been like, Kenny, returning to the band? After a break for a decade. You were with the band when it started, and now you're back. What's that transition been like? Because that's a huge event as well.
I mean, it's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, as a singer, as an artist, I mean, I developed all my skills and everything that I am musically together with these guys. I mean, I grew up with them musically. We discovered all of the styles that you hear in H.E.A.T pretty much together from the beginning. So for me to return, with my brothers in H.E.A.T, because that's what we are. It's like a family reunion. So it was nothing but just pure excitement and joy and like he said, I mean, force. I mean, just energy. Yeah, I mean, it's just. I think everyone had that sort of like instant connection with each other again when we got back together. It's not just something you say to make it sound pretty, like, we connected right away. No, like it was just it was hugs, lots of years of like trying to cement and sort of put together, and I mean it's a fantastic feeling. And for me, I could never in my wildest dreams imagine that it would be so natural and so good at the same time. I can just agree. Yeah.
So I want to ask you guys a little bit about like influences and what has played into the sound of H.E.A.T, because here in the US a lot of people still haven't heard of your band, and I think word's definitely spreading. I first met Jonah and Eric. I interviewed them about 5 years ago in Chicago, and then obviously met up with you guys on Monsters of Rock cruise, and people are getting to know H.E.A.T in the United States. But what if somebody's never heard you before? How would you describe your sound, and who are the bands that helped you develop your sound, and how you came to be?
For starters, I can just mention that we met on the Monsters of Rock cruise,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and when we played there the first time, it was, that was like, it was so amazing because all the bands playing on that ship were, well, most of the bands were bands that we started out listening to.
Right.
Like Keto and Winger. It was like, it was being just to be on the same ship as those bands. So that's where we started out. But during the years, the sound has developed, and we've gotten other preferences, and we've found our own sound in a way. But that's where we started anyway, in the best bands from the 80s, the melodic hard rock.
Right. Yeah, I remember, Kenny, you might know this, but I was the meet and greet photographer for H.E.A.T on the first Monsters of Rock cruise. So Crash and I were chatting and doing a video chat actually with my daughter, and Kip Winger walked in because he wanted to meet the band, and he'd heard so much about your band and the history, and he came in to get a photo, which I thought was kind of comical. He wanted to meet you guys.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of funny that you say, because he had the same kind of attitude and excitement around what we were doing when I met him on the cruise last time.
Yeah.
We connected and had a really sort of lengthy conversation about stuff backstage. I'll keep it at that.
Or it happened, but
it's just a fantastic guy. And it's so cool to be able to have that's what's so beautiful about things like Monsters Cruise, for example. It's just that you have this opportunity to connect with lots of different bands, lots of artists who are passionate about what they're doing, and they've been doing it for a long, excuse my French, fucking time. And it's so inspiring. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm curious to hear what you guys are up to. I know that you've been touring and doing festivals. I have friends that flew to Belgium to see you recently, and I know that you're all over Europe right now. Aside from, festival shows here in the US, any plans to come here and actually do a tour and come to see more of the States?
Well, nothing that we can see.
Unfortunately, right now we don't have anything planned.
Okay.
But we are dying to.
Yeah.
We really want to. I mean, it's something that we really, really want to. And but I think that there's been a lot of there's been some talking, and I think that there are definitely some things in the works right now. And with ultimately with the release of this latest album, we might be able to get something together and hopefully come over to the US and and do some shows.
Yeah.
And, but not just do some shows, but travel around the States and just perform and hang out and meet some of the fans over across the pond, as they say.
Did you know actually the first H.E.A.T gig was made in the US?
Yeah, that's right, actually. Yeah, that's right. You're right.
When the band was newly formed, we went to the U.S. Played in Nashville.
Oh, wow.
First show in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I first saw H.E.A.T in Chicago, and you guys had already had a significant career by then and already played that Melodic Rock Fest once before. So I definitely had not heard of H.E.A.T when you played in Nashville. So that's kind of a cool tidbit to hear.
We went there when we were 18 or 18, 19,
something like that. We were
because I remember that we struggled to get Eric into like bars and stuff because he hadn't turned of age yet. Something like that. I can't remember.
And the thing about that is that we won a talent competition for rock bands in Sweden. This was 2006, and the first prize was to go to the U.S. to visit. It was a Jack Daniel's contest.
Okay.
We won it, but we got to go to the Jack Daniel's distillery and a lot of crazy parties and just the time of our lives there for a couple of weeks in Nashville. Young rockers.
And walking up and down the record label street and trying to demo and stuff. We went crazy.
There's a street called the Music Row, I think, where they have a bunch of record labels. There's a street just record labels. And we went there, the whole band. We had demo tapes in hand, and we were like, "Hello, we're a band from Sweden. Here's our demo." Just throwing them.
Very cool. So what's next for you guys right now? You're on a cruise ship there. Are you doing a show today, or are you on vacation right now?
Yeah, we have a show tomorrow in Finland. So this ship goes from Stockholm to Helsinki, from Sweden to Finland.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, and apparently because of the pandemic, it's just crazy to fly right now because there's so many people and there's a staff shortage or something.
Okay.
So it's just people are missing their flights. So we were like, yeah, let's take the boat.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And you can relax and just have a good time. Yeah.
Well, it looks beautiful there right now.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a little gray, as you can see over there.
Yeah.
But here, look at that.
Beautiful sky. Yep.
That's where we're going.
I see why you pointed the camera that way, so we could see the pretty skies.
Yeah, it's a little dark here, but it looks nice this way.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking time to chat with me today. I'm really excited about hearing the rest of the new album, and I hope we see you again soon in the States. If not, I'll just have to fly across the pond.
Yeah, we're coming.
We're coming. It's just a matter of time now. We'll be coming.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you both. Safe travels to Finland. Take care.
Yeah. Thanks.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.